Welcome to this introductory meeting that we are hosting as Bay Atlantic University in partnership with ROBI and our good friend and partner, Racquel, who is a very successful entrepreneur herself. And I'm sure she will be a great inspiration for those who will be attending this new program that we are starting. And I'm really happy that we are starting this program with a person like Racquel. I myself have learned a lot from her. Her story has inspired me a lot, and I'm sure she has a lot to give to you, to everyone, especially the under-resourced and underserved entrepreneurs who would like to have just a nudge to be able to start their dreams. At Bay Atlantic University, we are proud to be a new generation university. And new generation university means that we are very much business oriented. We are in touch with the lives of the people. We are in touch with the real business and trying to bring the students, the ones who would like to learn and to do something, with the people who are actually in the business. And as a new generation university, we do our best to create opportunities for all our students, both at the undergraduate level and at the graduate level, to be able to create their own businesses. As a university, we don't want our students to be job seekers, but we want our students to be job builders. So that's why this entrepreneurship program is especially important for us, because I guess this 15-week program reflects the soul of our university, the real mission of our university. And we would like to thank both Roby, Racquel very much for introducing this program to us, to Bay Atlantic University. And we would like to thank all the DC government officials to help us start this program. And hopefully we will be reaching out to many young entrepreneurs who just want to have some guidelines, and we are ready to offer all our expertise, all our faculty members, academicians, academic background, and all our partners, business backgrounds, business experiences with you. I guess just to start up, this is enough for me to speak. I would like Racquel to give more information about what this program is and how it will work and how we will be here to help the young entrepreneurs of Washington, DC. Dennis, how do we continue? Do I pass it on directly to Racquel, or would you like to have some introductory remarks before?
Yes, actually, I think it's better for me to give the floor to Racquel directly, so she can give the technical information about this training program. Right, Racquel?
Yes, that's fine.
All right, thanks.
So welcome everyone. Thank you for joining this info session to talk about the Resident-Owned Business Incubator. We are very proud to work with Bay Atlantic University. I think they are one of the best kept secrets here in DC. When we was introduced to Bay Atlantic, we saw that they were a very resourceful university here in the heart of DC, right next to the White House, and they had so much to offer. And we really didn't feel like DC was really connected to BAU to the degree that they should. And so if I could just for a second, when I talk about BAU, I just want you to understand, if you saw in the press release, why we were so attracted to the partnership. Not only did they have a whole 4,500 square foot floor of space, but they had already put it in their hearts and in their business model that they wanted to make sure that that space was available to help under-resourced entrepreneurs. And while we already had a whole cohort or two that we had already graduated under our belt, we thought it was awesome. We took the students on a tour of the 7th floor, and they were totally amazed, and their hope skyrocketed. Their dreams and everything that they thought could happen about their business actually came to reality in that minute. And that's when we really knew that this was something just beyond a program here in DC. It was more than just training. It was like real opportunity, and our students was able to touch it, see it, and it was made manifested. And so we're really excited about the 4,500 square feet. It's called BAU Works. So it's kind of sort of like a WeWorks, but it's BAU Works because BAU caters to a large international student population as well. And so to be and have our students in the heart of international education, networks, supply chains, you know, that's a big deal. And so they want to make sure that their students also get real life work experience and get the performance that they need. And as students, all students need internships. And so we want to make sure that this 4,500 square feet, and that's just the 7th floor. It's actually 2 floors. There's a 7th and an 8th floor. But all businesses that come into BAU Works will reap benefits of having, you know, students help them with certain things. So it's a business school, and they have accountants or students that are studying accounting. And if you are a small firm needing accounting, which we know that's a big, huge capacity challenge for a lot of small startups and micro enterprises, latching on into the BAU Works program gives you now students to help you with your accounting. So that was really what attracted us to the partnership. It was not just having a space where we would have to come in and fledge our way and swim our way and make our way. It was, we already had a huge foundation on support and shoulders that we could stand on. From the instructors that BAU has, we were able to glean from that knowledge and expertise. So I think that's really huge. And I want all of you guys to put that on your radar, because once COVID lets up, this incubation space would be like a beehive of commerce for everybody who just has a dollar and a dream. And that's really what ROBI is about. It's about the under resources. For most of you guys, you've heard of small business, and small businesses cater to what, 500 or less employees, $5 million or less in revenue. And we're like nowhere near that. I wish I was even a small business. I would be now like considered a micro enterprise, really still. And for 20 years of working within the constructs of business as an African-American woman, as a low income, as a welfare recipient, because I was a welfare recipient, I have 4 kids, and I just was not called to work for anybody else. And so with a vision, that's all I had was a vision. It was the vision that propelled me to move this thing forward. It's the thing that wouldn't let me sleep at night. It's the thing that kept me up first thing or woke me up first thing in the morning. It's the thing that made me be a better parent and made me strive to relinquish myself from the welfare system and become independent with my 4 sons. And so never underestimate the power of a vision. And that's what, you know, we want to make sure that our students, regardless of your income status, we believe that there is a creator who endows creativity among human beings, regardless of their social class. And it's our job to cultivate that, even among those with the least amount of resources. And so if me, myself, if I can, with nothing, not an equity loan, I didn't have the, you know, like Trump and a lot of other, you know, well-to-do people, nobody left me an inheritance. I wish, for God, that could have happened. But I had to get really creative with how I was going to finance this dream. And I did so through the educational system. And so for families that receive subsidies, which is important, I think it's important for everybody on this phone. If you are a family member, if you have a family member or you know someone who receives subsidies, you also know that as soon as they work, they any kind of benefits that they receive currently, it is automatically lost because income is counted almost immediately, I think within 10 days. And so if you are low income, under-resourced, or poor, and you receive other entitlement programs such as TANF, Medicaid, WIC, housing, Section 8, food stamps, all of those programs, they pretty much penalize you for any income that you make. And so here within the Resident Owned Business Incubator, it was very important for us to create a network of support that would support even the least of them, the lowliest, the poorest person that don't even know what they have. As long as they have a dollar and a dream, they have a team. That's what we say. But it was important that we gave to them the things that I wish I would have had coming up, struggling, running this nonprofit for almost since 2003, 17 years. And so that's a long time to struggle. And it took me 8 years before I made my first dollar. And so with the Resident Owned Business, for most of you guys who don't know, Can I Live? We're a national public housing tenants association. That's really who the core of our members are. So we cater to over 3,300 public housing entities across the United States, who have access to at least 1.5 million families that live in public housing and at least 5 million families that live in Section 8. And all of them share one thing in common. They are the face of poverty and they live below the poverty level. And so it was important to us that they all touch the social services systems. And so this is where this is our niche market. Resident Owned Businesses is a actual federal statute based off the 24 CFR. Public housing residents, those that have Section 8, those that receive entitlements, they are actually able to operate businesses in their units, in their jurisdictions, in their states. And we wanted to make sure that we supported them. The one thing that ROBI was created for, there's a law called Section 3, and a lot of people don't know about this law. It's called the Economic Opportunities for Low-Income Persons. And it was actually a law instituted during the Civil Rights era. When there was a lot of riots and stuff going on, there was, I think Lyndon B. Johnson put a commission together to kind of see why people were rioting, which we see today. We see a lot of riots. And some say it's fueled by the racial injustice that we see right now, but it's beyond race. It goes into economics and the business fabric of how we're not a part or included in the mainstream economy in the United States. And so Section 3 was a law that was put in, and actually if you research it, it's the 24 CFR, which stands for Code of Federal Regulation 135. So it's 24 CFR 135, Economic Opportunities for Low-Income People. And it says, to the greatest extent feasible, wherever HUD monies were being spent, that training, employment, and contracting opportunities must be afforded to residents who receive housing subsidies and or any kind of subsidies, low income. And we were tired as residents, tired of all of the money going to the lion's share. The lions always got the fair share. The developers that didn't look like us always got the fair share. And they always would say, well, we couldn't find anybody qualified. Now, we know we had micro enterprises, and yes, they were small businesses, but it's already enough to have an experience in white America where you're always fighting for value and significance and adequacy and equity and equality. And so to find out that in your little business, whether it was landscaping or janitorial or cleaning, you still didn't even cut the mustard to even qualify to be considered for the contract. So the Resident Owned Business Incubator was created specifically to stop developers saying that there were no more qualified individuals who could do this work, because we said we will qualify them ourselves. And so Can I Live is an empowerment model. We were tired of people coming into the communities to tell us how we should live. And we thought we had the wherewithal, the sense, the integrity, the excellence. We had the model that we wanted to raise our own families by. So we decided to be the standard that we wanted to see. And we have lived within that raised standard of excellence this whole entire time. And that has helped us and made waves and has pretty much helped us with this partnership with BAU. So when we saw BAU in the middle of the DC next to the White House was not being taken advantage of at all, was not being really absorbed and soaked for the resources they had. I said, whoa, it didn't take me but 2 seconds to know that this was a partnership I wanted to cultivate and be a part of. And so we work with them to make sure, we did everything through OSSI, the Office of State Superintendent of Education's office, to get ROBI established as a legitimate program here in the district. We received some funding through the Department of Employment Services, which, DOES is a big partner of ours. They really believe wholeheartedly in the vision and in the aptitude and potential of our residents. And so I have met some of the most incredible people here in DC who work for DOES. And so with these 3 partnerships, our goal is to run this 15-week program. But during this 15-week, it's 300 hours. It's intense. Mondays and Fridays is coaching. So they're supported through a in-class curriculum that happens Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 10 to 2. So they're going through the Entrepreneurship and Small Business Management certification, which is a Certiport certification. So you could opt in to get the certification, but here in DC, we opt in to do the business license because the license is in fact a national credential or state recognized credential. And if anybody of you have ever did business in DC, it is very expensive to do business in DC. In fact, a basic business license costs at least $617.10. I know it to the penny. And that's basic. And so many of our residents or our students actually need more licensing than that. And so if it were not for ROBI and programs like ROBI that pay for the license, so during the 15 weeks, you actually get your business plan. So we walk you through the lean canvas model, and we have every student has an account with LivePlan. And the one thing about LivePlan, which is really great, is the fact that they have that forecasting. And so one of the things African-American small micro enterprise businesses and businesses at large suffer from is the financials, understanding profit margins, income statements, understanding what they mean, and how to pivot strategies to make those balance sheets kind of perform better for you. And so making sure that our curriculum goes through a very vigorous 300-hour course over the course of 15 weeks. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is that live in classroom instruction, which we have some awesome instructors that go through the curriculum through Zoom. And then Mondays and Fridays, we couple it with business coaching and this lab. So ROBI has a lab. And in that lab, there's hosts of videos of how-tos from the world's greatest leaders. Talking about marketing, how to create Facebook ads, YouTube ads, how to monetize. The technology game has just been changed. And so our new entrepreneurs are needing to know, how to monetize their YouTube channels. Believe it or not, we have a lot of small businesses they're very influential. They have large followings, and they now want to know how to monetize that. And so, the 15-week program gets them into the driver's seat. They not only get their business plan, but we pay for their business license. We also pay for their website. We also pay for a professional logo. We also pay for electronic business card. We also make sure that there's a membership to the Chamber of Commerce with the National Black Chamber of Commerce. That's a partner of ours that we're really excited about because they were the only chamber that remotely knew anything about Section 3 and wrote in detail reports testifying to HUD and other members of Congress about Section 3. So they were ideal in terms of our partnership for the chamber, but we wanted to make sure that when any graduate graduated our program, they had all the tools that they needed to pass the sniff test. And that's you got to look a certain way. You see like my little background and how I look like this is like a real, production going on. So I've learned early on that when you look the part, people at least now talk to you and they make time for you. And if you can sound the part, then you get more time. And now if you can perform, then you get, expanded time. And so we want to make sure that they have the best resources. They have high-res photos, they have video intros, that they look like they are a reputable business, even if they never had a dollar. And so, you know, we want to give them that professional front, that professional image up front, because we know that in this world of websites with templates, if a website looks janky, if the content on that website is misspelled or has many grammatical errors, we're probably not going to do business with them. So we judge a business far before we even meet the owner in most cases, simply based on the web presence, simply based on the content and their marketing materials. And so we want to make sure that they have at least that. We also support them with an administrative back office. So working with the Magi group here, they're a new partner to us as well. But making sure when it comes to the dream grants, bids, proposals, licensing, packaging, legal, that these individuals are able to be able to get the support that they need from an administrative team of professionals. And so, you know, most people are asking, well, how come these, you know, this is only available in DC? Well, through WIOA certified process, ROBI is free for those in DC that qualify for the WIOA funds. They do have to go through a certification process with the Department of Employment Services. Now, we are just now rolling out and are proud to present a very affordable fee for service for those outside the United States, because we got so many people asking across the United States, from New York to Texas to Philly to Connecticut, you know, when are you going to come here in our areas? And because we give so much of the program back to the resident, it's really hard to, you know, give the same, to stay true to our quality, but yet still help the residents. So we believe we've been able to find that perfect blend with our private pay subscription fees that are available for residents. However, we also know that there are organizations out there like Maximus and Grants and Some, so others may eat, and, you know, Shelter Force, all of these other organizations that cater to low income individuals. This is the time for entrepreneurship for low income residents. Like, we have to pay attention to this pathway of self-employment. And we want to make sure that we're supporting the agencies as well by giving them an opportunity to have a subscription to us, to give their clients access to our curriculum, our resources, technical assistance, our coaching, etc. So I think I just said like 1,000 words in like 10 minutes. So I would open it up for questions. I don't think I left anything out. I'm just looking at my notes. I don't think I left anything out. So if you guys have questions, I guess, Denise, did you want to like open it up for questions?
Yes, the floor is open to questions. Either the participants can write down their questions to the chat box, or if they would like, they can unmute and speak up and ask their questions. We have a question. When is the expected launch?
What is that? Let me see. What does that say? The expected launch. So that would be a question for Sinem in terms of the building, because we have gone to the space. So the space right now is being renovated and upfitted to, you know, bring a more modern, high-tech environment to the BAU Works. And so I don't know when they expect for the renovations to be complete.
Yeah, the renovations are almost done. And pretty soon we will be having our launching. And we would like to invite all of you to that launch event. I guess in mid-October, everything will be ready. So until, you know, you have all the necessary information from us regarding the program, how to register, etc., then our BAU Works, the office space, will be ready as well. But the training could start even before then, because our classroom space, that's already available.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's like tomorrow, mid-October. Let's see, what does this say? What does that say, Michael? Okay, so the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday classroom times are from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And the Monday to Friday business coaching is from 10 to 12. And then they do some self-paced work in their labs from 12 to 2. We work through our e-powered learning system called Matrix. So the name of our online system is called the Can I Live Communiversity. It's higher learning for communities, or neighborhood learning. I don't want to say higher learning because that's an educational, university term. But the Communiversity here in DC is open, and we have a lot of deliverables. So the accountability is on the student. And what we really like about it is they earn points. So, like a good morning post, when they come in the morning, they have to say something positive. They have to respond. They have to engage. They have knowledge checks, tests, quizzes. They also have progress notes. They also have assignments where they're actually doing something practical. So there's the moment where they work in their business, and then there are those times when they work on their business. But every day there's a deliverable that they have to do, and they earn those points. So at the end of the day, we're not just giving away business plans and licenses and websites and logos to students who didn't deserve it. These students will work for this stuff. And at the end of the day, they do a soft launch. That's one thing I did forget. So by week 10, there's a soft launch. Those students who successfully complete the soft launch will then get all of their marketing dollars that they have earned. So that's when we start putting those dollars behind them and start paying for that website, that business card, that logo, paying for the URL, the email addresses, etc. And then once all the students graduate successfully, there's a pitch competition. So we also have Roby Connect. Roby Connect is our platform where we engage them after they graduate the actual classroom. And that platform is set to have quarterly pitch competitions. So we need lots of partners because we want to open this up where it's not just DC, but where low income and under-resourced entrepreneurs throughout the United States can have a place in a centralized community, like an ecosystem where they can pitch for cash every quarter. And I know thus far we've given top prizes as far as $3,000 for the top prize winner, $2,000 for second place, $1,000 for third place. And so, that money is what they use to seed their business. So every cohort graduates with a pitch competition. And so we want to keep that going. And so we do need other partners. We need support. We need donors. We need, just everyday people that says, inclusion, economic inclusion matters. And it matters. And this is how, we want to start here by building up local entrepreneurs in our communities. They're doing business in their communities. People are buying from them. And we have some success stories. We have so many success stories. We have one, her name is Sidditra Shaw. She actually does non-invasive body sculpting. And so I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, I remember her telling, her idea to me a couple of months ago before COVID. Has she started?
Oh, yeah, she has started, and her business is booming because everybody wants a big booty nowadays. And so, she's done so many butt lifts without going into surgery just by having these little suctions on them. And I'm like, does that many people want that? And she's like, she is booked. And I thought, look at that. She went and got her some kind of esthetician, some kind of license that she had to have. She got the machinery, she invested in it. And she obviously was making too much money. She couldn't even pitch. Like, she had clients out and she does, it goes to their homes. Mm-hmm. And so that's how she's able to, but we always knew she would make a lot of money. We work in the name grinder. That's another thing that we like to call when, the small businesses come in, they have these ideas that their name is going to be, this, and then we put it through the name grinder and they hear from their peers whether or not that's like a thing, and we come up with the perfect name. So they come in one way, but they leave out totally different, prepared, ready. I think her name is Opulence, Body Sculpting by Sidditra. And so she's making a lot. You got Capital Hair Exchange. Actually, let me see. I usually have, whenever I'm doing my ROBI, I have these backgrounds. Here's one. So this background here actually shows this from the last cohort. Big Red is a property management firm here. There's Opulence right there. Guardians, is that Guardians? That might be Simply Publishing. We have Capital Hair Exchange. Queen Anisha, she does wigs. The wig thing is a big thing. We got Go Nails, first African-American nail technician. She's going through getting her license to finish doing nails. High and Buy, we have so many, H2O, Cannabis. So what is this? Millennial Works is a training company that actually wants to train customer service reps for fast food. I guess enough of the Popeye run-ins with rude, workers at the cash registers. She has now a product that wants to train the frontline workers of fast food places. I thought that was pretty awesome. Handyman, Rock's Handyman. He's actually 60. He's our oldest student. He lives in public housing, but he was always a handyman and he never had the money to get his licensing legitimate. And so he couldn't go for any contracts within the local housing authority simply because he didn't have the money to get the paperwork. And so we've established his paperwork, and now he's submitting, little small subcontracting bids with the housing authority on the projects that they have coming up. So we're excited about that.
Here, we have a couple of questions, and let me try to answer those by also summarizing some of your key points. Maybe that's going to be, answers to especially Michael Cobbin's question, if the ROBI BAU support would continue. And also another question, is it only for DC residents, etc. So this program, as Racquel said, this is a very hands-on training program. And it is not only technical knowledge, but it is also sharing experiences and also providing all the necessary tools for you to start a business. But of course, when you would like to start a business, you also need some human resources, some people to work for you. And as a university, we also have a responsibility to our students to provide internships for them. So we thought this could be a great match. And as Racquel said, we have both MBA students, cybersecurity or big data analytics, Master of Science programs, and also undergraduate programs in business, accounting, economics and finance, political science, data science, and IT. That means all of these students, this huge international students body, will be applying to your jobs. And I would like to introduce Gina Rupert here. Gina, could you please wave your hand so everyone could see you, the participants? Gina is our career counselor, and she is the liaison person between BAU Works, all the companies that are hosted at BAU Works, and also our students, either bachelor's or master's level students. So she is the liaison person. So you will be announcing your requirements. I need a person like this with these qualifications, and then Gina will be taking the applications of our students and then bringing you together with some possible candidates. You will be interviewing and then hiring the best intern for you. So that is the human resources support part for you, and that could continue always. Even though this 15-week program ends, you will be starting your business, and after that you will need this support, human resources. So it's an ongoing support on the part of ROBI and BAU for these new entrepreneurs. And secondly, the office space. BAU Works, yes, we are allocating 2 full floors of our campus to BAU Works. We will have already established businesses here, but also these ROBI program participants. You will have an office space, a desk, a mailing address, you know, that you need to start your business. And at this office space, which you can keep, you can always continue using with more, you know, advantages, you know, some discounted price. You can always keep using this space as your office. And it will also give you a chance to establish a network with all the other businesses. Because as you know, starting your own business also means having a network, building partnerships with other companies, other businesses that could also, empower you. So that is the second support that will always continue. And one thing that Racquel mentioned, but I think I would like to highlight it more, we will also be providing you an international, a global network, because the majority of our students are coming from over 40 countries. We have students from Mongolia, Vietnam, Africa, Latin America, Europe, many parts of the world. And these students are also studying business here or MBA or cybersecurity. And once they go back to their countries, they would like to start their businesses as well. So if you would like to have an international, food for your business, you will be also having that support from our students. Maybe you will be, establishing a company to do business here, but you could also have a network in Mongolia. Why not? And it is really difficult to, go out to the world if you don't have, a good network. But this, being in this environment, being in this international environment will also help you maybe to do your business globally, not only locally, limited to DC or to DMV or the US, but it will also help you to take your business out to the world, to the other parts of the world. And you will be BAU ROBI alumni, and as a university, of course, our support will always continue to our alumni. Gina is also our alumni director, so we will be organizing events, networking events, and bringing you together so that you could, increase the span of your network. So this support will always continue. And the final thing that I would like to share with you is if you have any interest in pursuing your degrees, like maybe, I don't know your backgrounds very well, but maybe now if you would like to, join this conversation, not only just, asking questions into the chat box, but also, voice yourself up. I would be more than happy to hear about your background, your stories. But for example, you have your high school diploma or GED, but you haven't had the chance to get your undergraduate degree yet. Or you have your undergraduate degree, but you haven't had the chance to get a master's degree yet. And during this ROBI program, you've noticed that you would like to, have more education. Then Bay Atlantic University has started a debt-free DC program, debt-free DC scholarship program, where we provide 70% of your tuition as Bay Atlantic University, and the rest of the 30% for a year at the bachelor's level. It's around, I don't want to miscalculate very rapidly, but maybe it's maximum $3,000 a year. And, we believe it's, not that much compared with $15,000 a year. But once you graduate, you don't have that financial aid burden on your shoulders, because I guess that is one of the most important problems in this country. Students, young students dealing with paying back their tuition, graduating with huge debt burdens. But with this support that we are providing this one is only limited to DC residents in the metropolitan DC area, DC residents. And if you have a relative, if you have, your children or cousins, you can also spread the word. If they come, to Bay Atlantic University if they are in the metropolitan DC area as residents. Then they have the chance to apply for this debt-free DC scholarship program, where they will be paying only 30% of the tuition. And then when they graduate, they don't have any, you know, burden on their shoulders. They will not be thinking, oh, what will I do now? You know, I need to find a job, and then 2 years later, I need to pay all this money back, all this loan back. So we are taking that burden off of your shoulders too. That's another support that we are offering to only DC residents.
A huge support. And for those that have like any caseworkers on the phone, I know we had some initially like 18 to 24 homeless youth. And this was a great opportunity because one of the things that they also have is dorms. Mm-hmm. And so that's a big factor. Like, you don't have to be homeless in 18. You could just be in school and you don't have to have the student loan. And so I made sure I told my sons about it. Only one took advantage of it. But the whole dorm thing is a big deal, like, for real. Like, affordable dorms. Let me just add affordable dorms. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, BAU is working with DC Tag to become a part of the.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. But still, nonetheless, it's affordable. They do give real tuition, $7,000 plus tuition a year. And so I am a recipient of that benefit as well. I'm not going to just be a part of the family and not, you know, I would be a fool. I have 4 sons and they are in school. And so we take advantage of all of the BAU perks and works and just the awesome things that they are able to do for our community. So I hope that if you're a caseworker, if you work for DOES, please put BAU on your radar for a resource, school resource, you know, entrepreneurship resource, you know, dorm resource, all of that. I had someone from, what's his name? Jeffrey said that he applied and he hadn't heard. So Jeffrey Walker, I just sent you a link to make sure you use that application. If you send me your information, like your email and your phone number, I'll make sure that our team reaches out to you to get you in, because we are recruiting. I think we have received some extra funding for DOES. I know we did, for an extra round for 18 and over, just adults only. And then we do have the current contract in partnership with BAU, where it's 18 to 24 out of school, out of work youth. So we still have about 20 slots we're looking to fill right now. And it is 100% virtual, Michael. We do also make sure that if there's a need that some of the students have, like if Can I Live has a need, we will employ students ourselves. So we have given quite a few students contracts at the end of their training to do certain things that we would have a need for. So we want to make sure that they get the performance and the experience. So we are like a best kept secret, you guys. Thank you for coming. There's a lot of you on here.
So Racquel,
yes.
There are questions about the 15-week training program. Like, when is it gonna be starting? And can you give a little bit more information about that? Because the enrollment is like on a rolling basis. So we are open for applications right now. I shared the application link on the chat box, and also the documents needed for determination, eligibility determination. The link is also on the chat box. Mm-hmm. So we are open for applications, and the classes are going to start on Monday, right?
Yeah, so first half of, we're a rolling cohort. So one half of one cohort is starting Monday, 10/5. The next will start on 10/19. So it looks like we might just be rolling in a new batch of students every 2 weeks until the classes are totally filled. For those that don't make it in, we will wait list you. but at least you get certified through DOES, and soon as funding becomes available, then we just roll you in and you don't have to go through that process. So if there's any, you know, big money wigs on the call, if you guys want to just totally fund a whole new cohort, you could definitely do that too. So this way we don't have to keep waiting for more funding. We can continuously have a 2-week rolling cohort that starts. That's what we're hoping. So 10/5 Monday, and then 10/19, and then I think after 10/19, we're hoping that we will be completely filled no later than November 2nd. So we have those 3 enrollment dates happening. 10/5, 10/19, and 11/2.
I will share the email addresses for Racquel and myself here with everyone in case there are more questions afterwards. We can reply anytime.
Thank you, Michael Colvin from DOES, and everybody from DOES staff and team, and thank you, BAU. Hey, George, how you doing? Let's see.
I guess that's it. We don't have any other questions. And Denise shared her email with you all. I'm sure you already have. You can forward your emails, further questions to Denise and Racquel directly.
And I just did for Jeffrey Walker, I just sent you a text that just says, send me your email and address. I mean, not your email address, your email address and your phone number, so I can check with the team to see if your application is in. And if not, just go on that link that I put in the chat to everyone. And you guys can feel free to share with anyone that you would know might be interested. It's canaglive.smapply.io. It's a weird name, but that's where you can submit your application. And
Okay, so, regarding, actually, I'm going to have another meeting with BAU Works to decide on the launching event, the date, exact date of it, at 3:30 today. If we would like to share that information with you, do we have all of your email addresses?
it should be from the registration.
Yeah, if they RSVP'd, we do have, yes.
Okay, good. Then we will be sending that information to you pretty soon.
We will. And also, I will be sending the recording of this meeting and also all the links that in the chat box after the event to all the email addresses that I have on our RSVP list.
Jeffrey, do you have a question? I see that you raised your hand. Jeffrey Walker.
Let me unmute.
Hello,
Yes.
Thank you all for this information. I really appreciate it. How you everybody's doing?
Hi.
Great. So question. So I already have, I don't have my business license, but I have an LLC. I already have my business name and I already have my logo. And I'm understanding that you help a lot of organizations, these startups with that process. Am I excluded from this as an applicant because I'm kind of like a little bit along, but not fully along, right? I've only started this a year ago. There's still a lot of things I need to learn, but I just wanted to know what is the criteria for like being accepted into the program, because I know it's competitive.
So that's a really good question. So what we did find is there were a couple of entrepreneurs who already had gotten the license and stuff, but they really didn't know still what they were doing and they needed some help. So we still took them into the program, and what we did, because we budgeted for the license anyway, we just give that marketing, we give that dollar back to you at the end of the program in marketing dollars. So those that came in with the license already, they received $617 to go towards Facebook ads, marketing, YouTube, however they wanted to use to market their business or to enhance their business in some way. So you can still join the program even with those things. We just compensate based on what we would have spent. you will just get it in another type of way, because we won't give you 2 licenses unless you wanted to open up an entirely different type of business. But it is on and it's on an what is it, as needed basis, or pertaining to the individual entrepreneur personally. So we would just need to see, you know, where you are, what you have, but that would not stop you from joining the program and getting the technical skills, knowledge that you need to grow your business.
Got it. Thanks. Appreciate that. And my second question is, I came on a little late, so excuse me if you already answered this, but how many applicants are you accepting into this cohort? Or this?
So between the two, we got 25 for one and 20, so a total of 45 students.
And this starts mid-October, a couple weeks.
Correct.
Got it. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Clarissa, where are you from?
I'm the Public Information Officer for the DC Department of Human Resources.
Oh, okay. Nice. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me. And
I thought you was a student. I was like, wait, you look like you could be a nice student here. But
hopefully soon.
Okay. Well, that's it for me, you guys. Thank you. Share the information, please.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We are so excited about this training program. Hope to see you on Monday in the virtual classroom, I guess. Right?
Absolutely. Yes. Good.
Right.
Thank you, guys.
Everyone. Bye.